Hello, my name is Bonnie Rains. I'm a teaching artist with the Luther Burbank Center for the Arts, and I'm here today for another edition of Let's Be Creative. You may have seen an earlier video where we talked about Tennyson's poem, The Eagle. Well, today we're going to be dramatizing a different poem by Emily Dickinson, one of America's most famous poets of all time. She lived in the 1800s. We're going to explore how to dramatize it and memorize it all at the same time. And we'll learn a little bit about Emily as well. Okay, are you ready? Here's an actual photograph of Emily Dickinson when she was fairly young. She didn't live long enough. She was born in 1830 and she died when she was only 55 years old. I think it's a great picture of her, though. You can tell she's thinking about things. I want to tell you a few things about Emily Dickinson so you know her a little bit better. First of all, she loved gardening. She spent so much time in the garden that all the neighbors thought that she was the gardener. They had no idea that she also was a poet. Emily would go upstairs into her room where she lived with her mother, father, and her sister, and just write for hours. She would sometimes send little snippets of poems to friends, but it wasn't until she died when they found huge packets of poems in her dresser drawer. She had written almost 2,000 poems, and that's how we know about her now. Emily wrote many poems about her garden work. She wrote many poems about all kinds of nature, but she especially loved the bee, and that's the name of our poem that we're working with today. Emily also loved children. She was a bit of an introvert, though, so in order to communicate, she would often bake gingerbread and send it down in a basket from her upstairs window. She also had a nephew she loved very much, but unfortunately he died when he was just a little boy, and it broke Emily's heart. That's a little bit about Emily to kind of help you give a picture of who she was. So when we work on a poem, we're going to look at it together first, kind of see what it looks like. As I read this poem for the first time, pay special attention to my voice because that's going to be the main tool of our dramatic presentation. Not only pay attention to whether my voice goes up or down or is quiet or loud, but also pay attention to the little pauses between words. In music, we would call that a rest. It's a little break between phrases or words that make it sound different than if we had done it in a completely alternative way. So really pay attention to that. Okay, here we go. The Bee by Emily Dickinson. The bee is not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes matter play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? When you look at this poem, what does it make you think about? I kind of have my own thoughts, but it's important for you to think about what occurs to you while you're hearing it. So, for myself, when I hear the bee is not afraid of me, I think that Emily must be very comfortable around bees. I'm not always, but she must have felt really safe, like that they would never sting her, that they were so busy with the flowers. I know the butterfly must mean that she sees them around a lot, and that they're friends. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially must suggest that when she's going for a walk, everybody's just very nice to each other. Maybe she's even referring to animals. I'm not sure. What do you think? The brooks laugh louder when I come. I'm thinking that might mean that she loves sitting by a running stream and it just makes her happy, and she must think that the creek is happy too to see her. The breezes matter play, I think, is the same kind of feeling of like nature is just connected to her and she's connected to nature, and the breeze gets wilder and bigger. The last couple lines, wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists, wherefore, O summer's day. Well, I'm just thinking that maybe Emily is really sad to see summer ending, and she just is going to miss it so much. Miss the morning mist of what it looks like across a field or a lake or a pond, and that she's really wishing she could just keep summer with her always. I don't know. What do you think? What pictures come to your mind while you're thinking of this? I put together a few pictures that I think remind me of what could be happening in this. So let's say the poem with the pictures. Here we go. The bee is not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes matter play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? Here's an actual photograph of Emily's home. Imagine this is what she would get to see when she went outside into her garden. It's quite beautiful, isn't it? When I'm trying to do a poem and dramatize it, I try to think of all the different ways that I can use my voice and my expressions, especially my facial expressions, to think of a different way, think of all the ways that I can express this poem. And it's really helpful just to practice different ones to see which one you land on and you like the best. Okay, let's try some. The bee is not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes matter play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? So that's how I like to do the poem when I'm thinking about Emily missing summer. But there are other things I could try. Take time, allow yourself to just center, picture what feeling you have inside, and then think about the way you use your voice to make it higher, lower, louder, quieter. And think about what your face might look like to express the feelings you want to express. Let's try it. Let's just pretend that I'm irritated today. Okay, here I am, thinking about being irritated. The bee's not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods, they receive me cordially. Brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes matter play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? So that would be if I were irritated. What if I was lonely? What if I were missing people and I wanted to just kind of talk about my day? So let me think how I might do that. I'm thinking if I were feeling lonely, my shoulders might be a little bit stooped and might be looking down, feeling sorry for myself. The bee's not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. Pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. Brooks laugh louder when I come. Breezes matter play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? How's that? Okay, what else might you try with your voice? What else might you imagine? It's a chance to create the scene. Okay. Let's try someone who is really over the top joyful about the whole thing. Until the end. I mean, I don't think she's joyful that summer's ending. I don't think anybody's really joyful that summer's ending. But we could try it. Okay, let's just try being over the top joyful. Alright? Alright. See if you can do this. Take a deep breath. Get centered and think about what your face will do. Your body. Your voice. There we go. The bee is not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes madder play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? Okay, that works. And you can kind of feel it inside yourself. You can feel the feelings of what it is you're trying to portray, what you're dramatizing. That's what it is to create a character. Okay, let's try one more. Let's try someone who's very brave. The bee is not afraid of me. I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come. The breezes madder play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mists? Wherefore, O summer's day? Can you feel how different every poem is when you do it with a different character? It's kind of an interesting thing. And I think poetry is really intended to be read aloud or said aloud. And in this case, when you say it enough times, it'll be in your mind forever. You'll have it memorized. It's a great thing to memorize a poem. And you can really perform it for your friends and your family. Especially when you do it dramatically. So think about it carefully. Think that if you just do a poem like this, if you just say it, it doesn't have much feeling to it. The bee's not afraid of me, I know the butterfly. The pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come, the breezes madder play. Wherefore mine eyes a silver mist, wherefore, O summer's day. Sure, I can say it, but if it doesn't have the drama to it, it's not nearly as exciting. So think about that. Think about what voice you want to use, what mood you want to use. Just make that imagination come alive for you and try out different things. See which one matches. And you could demonstrate all of them. Take a few and say, here's when I'm mad, here's when I'm brave, here's when I'm silly. Just try different ones. It's very fun. One more way I'd like to demonstrate this poem is that I liked it so much I wrote a piece of music for it on the piano. So I composed a little song so you could sing along if you'd like. I know the butterfly. Pretty people in the woods receive me cordially. The brooks laugh louder when I come, the breezes madder play. Wherefore mine eyes thy silver mist, wherefore, O summer's day. Thanks for joining me today in dramatizing and memorizing this poem by Emily Dickinson. Tune in again for another edition of Let's Be Creative. Thank you, and bye.